Hey everyone, welcome back to Pretty and Unfiltered, the podcast where we get real about what it takes to show up fully, creatively, emotionally, and unapologetically. I'm your host, Jada Peck, and today is all about something that doesn't always look glamorous, but is honestly the foundation behind the glow up: routine, structure, and discipline. This is episode 15, Master Your Routine, How Structure and Small Habits Build Success. Whether you're an entrepreneur, creator, student, or just trying to get your life together, we're diving into how the small, unsexy things you do every day actually shape the life you're building. We've got a guest here today to help us unpack it all. I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Gigi. I'm excited to dive into this topic with you both. Today we have CB Bosah, and he is well known in Dallas. I'm sure many of you guys have met him already, but I've been so excited for this one. And you're someone who I've seen really show up for your work, your goals, and yourself. I know our listeners will take a lot from how you stay grounded in your routine. Let's start.
I really appreciate it. Looking forward to sharing some gems and hopefully inspiring the audience.
Absolutely. Discipline is one of those things people think you either have it or you don't. I believe it's something you build. Bosah, when motivation isn't there, what daily habits keep you locked in?
When motivation isn't there, I think the main habit that I have is working out. I work out 6 days a week, every single morning, Monday through Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is usually my rest day just to catch up on rest and everything like that. But without working out, I think everything else would fall apart. So I use that to structure my day and start the day off on the right note.
Wow, yeah, I love that. It's like those micro decisions every day that add up. For me, even just making my bed and starting the morning with water instead of my phone, that shifts my mindset. What about your creative process? How do you bring structure into it without making it feel too rigid?
For me, I think in terms of creativity, I like to write things down. That truly helps me out. I have a lot of stuff in my head. I own a business, a real estate brokerage here in Dallas. With that, the constant stream of clients, reaching out and everything like that. When it comes to the creative aspect of my business and what I'm trying to accomplish, I think sitting back and writing things down and writing out plans and goals really helps out with that.
That's a really good system. It also leaves space for flow, especially writing things. That's such a good balance. Is there an everyday task you do? I know you said working out for sure, and 6 times a week. That's that's not small at all. A lot of people don't do 6. Is there an everyday task you do that might seem small to other people but has a really big impact on your mindset and success?
Yeah, I think for me, the one thing that I do each and every day, I spend a couple hours doing is something called Power Hour. It's what I call Power Hour at least. It's where I spend time connecting and reaching out to past, present, and future clients. So past clients who used my company before, present clients who are currently using it to make sure they're okay, and also future clients. As I mentioned earlier, I meet a lot of people every single week. And with that, I want to check in and not just be a resource from a business standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint too. I always tell my clients, I'm people first, transaction second. With that,
very nice. What about you, Gigi? Do you have any go-to habits that keep you grounded?
Like Bosah, I definitely lean on my physical exercise. You know, meditation works for me as well. That's a daily ritual, like going to the gym. I feel like the days I go without that, I can definitely feel it from a mental standpoint at least. And honestly, I can't really pinpoint why exactly I choose the physical, like to do a workout or something, because I also go about 6 days a week as well. It definitely makes a difference in my energy levels. I don't know if you resonate with that, Bosah, but for you, why did you choose exercise amongst other ways of whether it's alleviating stress or kind of building a routine?
Yeah, I have a question about the meditation piece once I answer that. But I think for me, it's just always been a routine for me ever since moving here. Just to give you full context, back in 2018, I used to overreact to what people did at work during the full-time job. There were people who annoyed me at some point. What I realized is that, the way you react to things leads to problems being solved, right? By overreacting, it could lead to problems not getting solved in a meaningful time frame. I think for me, the workouts help me stay calm and collected. I don't overreact anymore. It's not even worth it. I think the hardest part of my day is in the morning. Once the workout is complete, everything else is cake. Working with people, working with clients. What I was talking about previously before is working in a corporate environment. I dealt with a lot of people, different backgrounds and different levels of stress. And so with that came my reaction. Now I just take things very calmly. I try to remain collected overall. Gigi, when it comes to your meditation piece, is it mornings for you or is it evenings for you or both? What works for you?
Yeah, great question. For me, I start my mornings with meditation, and sometimes it's just as simple as a 15-minute time to just sit and reflect. And then I end my nights as well, where there's no distractions, there's no phone, sometimes I'll journal, but just simply regrouping, kind of going through the day mentally, sometimes rewriting the narrative of the day. You like have a tough day, a rough day, you're a broker, right? You deal with real estate agents, you deal with clients. Me having a background in real estate, sometimes it is with my clients where I'm sitting and I'm stressed out. Before I can close my eyes and go to sleep, I reflect on those pieces, say a prayer, like I said, rewrite what happened. A deal might have fallen through. Instead of saying, oh, I'm the worst, or talking negative about yourself, you kind of reframe that and say, okay, there's another opportunity. I start to think of ways to resolve it. When I go to sleep, I wake up the next morning and I have my answer. Meditation for me is just a way for me to go within and reinforce, affirming, how do I put this? Basically reinforce the work that I've done. I feel like we work so hard to build ourselves up mentally, and then something, outside of us can easily come by and throw us off course. Those moments for me are to realign myself and say, hey, that's just a distraction. That's not your story. And then just continue on the narrative that I have for myself and the story that I'm building for myself.
That makes a lot of sense. I agree with that. And yeah, like you said, taking what happened, reframing it, and making sure it aligns with your journey. Jada, how about you? Is there one part of your day-to-day routine that keeps you focused on the routine that you have, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Definitely. I myself, like Gigi, I'm big into meditation. I've been doing yoga for at least, I want to say 9 years now. And I look back and I'm like, oh my goodness, 9 years. That's so long. But it has become my baby in my life, just because when I need that grounding, when I need that focus, even if I'm having a rough day, sometimes we have those days where it's like, okay, it's Monday. Let's just get through Monday and tomorrow will be Tuesday. And that sometimes that is what keeps you going and keeps you focused. But yoga for sure has been that for me, especially walking. I love walking. I can go to White Rock Lake and walk 9 miles just to restart myself. And I love doing it. You have the scenery, you have the vitamin D, the dopamine from the sunrise, you have the animals walking around. That really does it for me. I'm so thankful that I'm able to do that. Speaking of being thankful, I also do have a gratitude list on my phone. When I do have those tough days, I can go in my day with, hey, I'm thankful for this. Maybe I didn't get through all my tasks today, but I am so thankful that I got this done and I got this done. But that's giving yourself some sort of recognition in a world that's continuously traveling at such a fast pace.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And I love how you said White Rock Lake. I need to start going there more often, but I have the Katy Trail nearby where I live too. I typically go on runs or walks there quite
I'm
often.
so jealous of that. I love the Katy Trail. Okay, but let's talk consistency versus spontaneous actions. Bosah, how do you balance staying consistent with your routine while also being open to risk and change, especially in a world that rewards hustle, but also expects constant innovation?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this one, how I answer this for you guys. For me, I have my day-to-day habits that take place, right? But in order to grow, I have to take risks in a way, right? I have to shoot my shot. I had a video earlier where I mentioned shooting my shot 100 times per day. The thing about owning a business is that if you don't let people know about your business, they will not know, and they will not know to use you. There are points where I miss out on business because I forgot to let people know, hey, this is what I do. With that, when it comes to the risk being taken, I think there are small risks, but just reaching out to strangers and letting them know what I do. First, building the relationship, right? So I look to get to know them more, everything like that, before I let them know about what I can do for them as well. Some may think that as a risk, take a shot at getting someone's business, but for me, it's what it takes to grow the business overall.
Yeah, I love that. Gigi, how about you? Curious how you see this because you're a structured queen in your own way.
Yeah, so no, I agree with Bosah. Bosah, honestly, we follow each other on social media, and I do look up to you in aspects because you're so disciplined, you're so outgoing. I know it's not always easy to approach strangers and be social all the time, right? I'm sure at some point your social battery starts to take a hit. Nonetheless, you're outgoing, you're everywhere, you have a positive reputation. For me, something that I've consistently been challenging myself to do is to step out of my comfort zone. Because kind of like you said, if no one knows about your business, it could be the greatest thing out there, but if no one knows, it doesn't matter. Same with me. As for myself, I feel like my business is myself, my personal brand. So putting myself more out there as an introvert, I find that challenging. Part of that challenge for myself is, hey, get out of your comfort zone, get out of your own way, go meet people, go shake hands, make introductions, and of course carry myself in a positive way. You know, you rarely catch me associating myself with negativity, drama, anything of that nature. And that's deliberate, because I want to maintain a positive image. It helps. It helps in business. It helps in personal life. I mean, something I would definitely say is keep your issues private. I think privacy is the biggest thing that has helped me in my life. No one's life's perfect, but with privacy, you can give yourself time to retreat and work on your shortcomings. By that, anytime you are seen in public, anytime you're showing your brand, you're pitching your brand, it's always in a positive light. You never allow people to see those parts of you where you're building, which I'm not saying don't be vulnerable, because we always encourage that on this podcast. I'm saying be wise with how you channel those hard times, those not so pretty times.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to say that I can have a quick story for you. When I was laid off back in 2019 and all I had was my business, I was comparing myself to people on social media because everybody looked like they were winning, right? I had a chat with another business owner where I take my car to get work done. He told me, he said, CB, everybody looks like they're winning on social media. Showcase your wins. Nobody likes to work with a loser, right? While you go through a lot, hold that tight, share it with your close friends. When it comes to putting yourself out there, display your wins, showcase the efforts, and showcase what you're doing, because people like to work with winners.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That is a really good one. I love that. I always say, if you don't make time for rest, life will force you to rest. So definitely knowing when to rest and staying consistent. I'm very curious, because I know people love the behind the scenes. What does your typical day look like for you? Like, from the moment you wake up, how do you set yourself up for success?
For me, as I mentioned, I can't go without working out, right? I start my morning with a workout. I end that. I typically go to a coffee shop to work from a coffee shop. There are points where I work from home too. Gigi can probably agree with this. Owning your own business can be kind of lonely, right? Because, you work from home by yourself, and then, yes, you have clients and everything, but you don't have coworkers you can chat with and mingle with and everything like that. Gigi, I know you said I'm an extrovert. I'm very extroverted. I have to put myself in situations where other people are around me. So I go to coffee shops and I start my day with wishing everybody a happy birthday and my connections on LinkedIn, on Facebook. That's one of my daily routines as well, where I wish everybody a happy birthday. And then I follow up and I check to see how they're doing in various parts of their life. So that's one part of my routine. After that, I get to the admin tasks from me, sending out invoices, making sure all the clients are good from an apartment locating, home buying, home selling standpoint. Then making sure the business is rolling as well, making sure my agents are taken care of also. And then I would say most of my day is spent trying to gain new business by connecting with new people and so on. That will be my day-to-day routine. After the workday is over, I try to work out one more time, whether it's a run or a walk on the trail. I do enjoy the Katie's Trail, just like you enjoy White Rock. It's an amazing place.
I love that. Yeah, there's so many gems in this conversation. If there's one thing I'm taking from today, it's that structure doesn't have to feel like a cage. It can be a container for your creativity, your goals, and your peace. Before we wrap up, is there anything you want to leave with the listeners today? Maybe someone who's struggling to build a routine or feels a little bit stuck right now in life.
Yeah, I think one thing I would leave you with is this, right? You are only in control of what you're in control of. Like, every day you have a choice to make, but you can't control what everybody does around you. Take control of what you can and do your best each and every day. 1% better each and every day. When it comes to my life, this sounds crazy, but my friend told me this thing a few years back, and I live my life by 2 rules. I'm the prize and nobody owes me anything. I have no expectations out of anybody else, but I know I'm the best in whatever I do. With that, I walk into every single day knowing just that. Some people love to work with me, some people won't.
but I know I'm the best. With that, take that into your life, roll with it. Even if you don't feel that way, roll with it, go with it, and just get better each and every single.
I love that. That
was good.
Yeah, that's a good sentence. I love that. That's going to repeat in my head all day today. Gigi, how about you? Anything you want to add or ask before we wrap up?
I'd say you're never too good to learn from someone else. Like, humility goes a long way. For instance, like with Bosah, like, we invited him to the podcast. Nonetheless, he took time to actually hear our side of, the questions. And he didn't have to, right? And so I would just say, be humble enough to learn from others.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Jada, what about you? What's the last gem you would give your audience?
The last thing I will give our audience is, do not be so tough on yourself. Recognize how far you've come, recognize where you're going, and also remember, especially with social media portraying any and everything for consumers to see, always remember that you are right where you're supposed to be. You're not behind, you're not ahead. You're just right where you are supposed to be. That's what I have for you guys today. But, Bosah, where can everyone find you and support what you're working on?
Yeah, I'm on social media. Instagram is probably best, at CB Bosah, Bosah, CB Bosah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you love this episode, share it with someone who needs a little routine reset or some or Tuesday motivation. And Monday. We all need it on Mondays. But make sure to follow Bosah and, of course, follow Pretty and Unfiltered for more real convos that go beyond the highlight reel. So see you next time.
Cheers, guys.